Hi there. Today is January 11th, 2025. It is Saturday, and we are here today to have our daily reading of the Bible as we go through the Bible in one year in about 7 minutes a day using our day by day Kids Bible. I have put my sticker on for the day. So if you have not already, then you can take your time while I'm talking to put your sticker on for the day to keep track of your daily commitment. And speaking of commitment, I wanted to tell you all that I am so proud of you all for following along and for watching every day. There are a couple of you, and I really appreciate your taking the time, and I appreciate your positive feedback that you have been enjoying the videos. And I'm just super proud of you for keeping up. I know it's a big commitment to do this every day, but I have confidence and faith that you will be able to continue to do it every day. And at the end of the month, we will have a little perfect attendance prize for you because I already know that you will do it. So I'm just going to have let you know that I will have something for you. I've been looking into different little things. And Jeannie, if you are willing to let me know the age of your grandson, then I will make. I like to do it for the kids. So if you would send me the age of your grandson, if you don't mind, then I will have his little perfect attendance award because I know you said you were going to read to him. If you'd prefer to have it for you, that's fine. I can just make it for you. I have different ideas for different age groups for whoever is following along. And speaking of following along, if you are joining me today via a podcast such as Zencaster, Spotify, Apple, then thank you and welcome. I appreciate your participation and audience as well. And I'm super excited to be getting these videos posted as part of my podcasting so that I can I can spread the word about reading God's word every day and throughout 2025 and beyond that. But this year, that is our commitment. And I'm so happy to have more listeners. And so thank you for joining me. Also, I just want to let those of you know who are Scooby watching that there is no Scooby on my lap today. But I'm so glad that everybody enjoyed seeing him yesterday on my lap there. He is super cute. I say that's Scooby's superpowers. He's super cute. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to open up our Bible to January 11th, where we are going to be reading about Jacob and his family. And first, we're going to hear about a dream that Jacob has. And then it's called A Ladder Up to Heaven, and it comes to us out of Genesis 28. Now Jacob left his home and began his trip to Laban's. The sun went down before he got there, so Jacob stopped to rest. He took a stone and used it as a pillow, and he lay down for the night. That night, Jacob had a dream. He saw a ladder that went all the way up to heaven. God's angels were going up and down the ladder. And God stood at the top of the ladder. And God said, I am the Lord. I am the God of Abraham and Isaac. I will give your family the land you are sleeping on. Your family will become big, and there will be so many people, they'll be like dust. They will live in the west and the east. They will live in the north and the south. Good will come to all nations because of your family. God also said, I'll be with you. I will watch over you everywhere you go. I won't leave you. I will keep all my promises to you. Jacob woke up thinking. He said, God is here, and I didn't even know it. And it made him afraid. This place is wonderful, he said. This is God's house, and this is heaven's door. So early in the morning, Jacob got up, and he set up the stone he had slept on. It made a post, and Jacob put oil on the post. He named it the house of God. Then Jacob made a promise. If God watches over me, He will bring me back here safely. He will give me food and clothes, and this stone will be God's place, and I'll give to God part of everything He gives me. Jacob in the land of the east. Genesis 29. Jacob kept going on his trip. At last he came to the land of the east, and there was a well in a field there. 3 groups of sheep sat at the well. That's where they came to get water. But a huge stone covered the top of the well. The shepherds would wait until all the sheep were there, and then they would take off the stone and give their sheep water. After that, they would put the stone back. "Where are you from?" Jacob asked the shepherds. "From Haran," said the shepherds. "Do you know Laban?" asked Jacob. "Yes," they said. "How is he?" asked Jacob. "Oh, he is doing well," they answered. "In fact, here comes his daughter Rachel now. She's bringing their sheep." "It's too early to gather all of the sheep," said Jacob. "Go ahead and give your sheep some water. Then you can lead them back to the fields." "We can't do that," said the shepherds. "We have to wait until all the sheep are here. Then we will take the stone off the well, and that's when we will water our sheep." And just then, Rachel walked up. She was leading her father's sheep. She was a shepherdess. And Jacob saw Rachel. He took the stone off the well. He gave water to her sheep, and then he kissed her. He began to cry. He told Rachel that he was Rebekah's son, and Laban was his uncle, Rachel's father. So Rachel ran back and told her father. And Laban came out quickly to meet Jacob. Laban hugged him and took him home. Genesis 29. Working for a wife. Jacob stayed with Laban for a month, and Jacob worked for him. One day, Laban said, "You're part of my family, but I should pay you for the work you do. What do you want me to pay you?" Now, Laban had 2 daughters. Rachel had a big sister named Leah. But Rachel was prettier than Leah, and Jacob loved Rachel. So he said, "Will you let Rachel marry me? If you will, I will work 7 years for you." "That's fine," said Laban. "You may stay here and work for me." So Jacob worked for 7 years so he could marry Rachel. But it didn't seem like a long time to Jacob, because Jacob loved Rachel so much. At last, the 7 years were over. Jacob said, "It's time for me to marry Rachel." So Laban had a wedding party, and he gave the bride to Jacob. But when Jacob saw his bride, he saw she was Leah. "What did you do to me?" said Jacob. "I worked to marry Rachel, and you fooled me." "That's how we do it here in this land," said Laban. "The older girl must get married before her younger sister. You can marry Rachel next week, but you must work 7 more years for me." So the next week, Jacob married Rachel. And he loved Rachel more than Leah. And then Jacob worked 7 more years for Laban. This section is called Lots of Babies, but I think it should be called Baby Competition. Genesis 29 and 30. Now God saw that Jacob did not love Leah. So God let Leah have children. And she had a baby boy. "God saw how sad I was," said Leah. So she called the baby Reuben. Sometime later, Leah had another baby boy. "God gave me another baby," she said. "It's because he saw that Jacob does not love me." So she named this baby Simeon. After that, Leah had another baby boy. "Now Jacob will stay with me," she said. So she called the baby Levi. Later, she had another baby boy. Praise God, said Leah, and she called the baby Judah. But Rachel did not have any children, and she wanted to be like Leah. So she told Jacob, "Take my servant. She can be a wife to you. Then I'll have children that I can call mine." So Rachel's servant had a baby boy. "God heard me," Rachel said. So Rachel named the baby Dan. Then Rachel's servant had another baby boy. "I have won the fight with my sister," said Rachel. So Rachel called him Naphtali. Now Leah saw she wasn't having any more babies. So she gave her servant to Jacob, and her servant became another wife for him. That way Leah could have more children in her family. It was not long before Leah's servant had a baby boy. "This is a good thing that has happened," said Leah. So she named the baby Gad. Then Leah's servant had another baby boy. "I am so happy," said Leah, and she called the baby Asher. So Leah herself then had another baby boy. "This is a gift from God," she said. So she named this baby boy Issachar. Sometime later, Leah had another baby boy. "This is such a wonderful gift," said Leah. "I have had 6 sons for Jacob." So she named the baby Zebulun. Later, she had a baby girl, and she named her baby girl Dinah. Then God answered Rachel's prayers, and she had her own baby, a baby boy. "I can feel good now," said Rachel. And she named the baby Joseph. And she said, "May God give me another son." And that is the end of our reading today for January 11th. So that was a lot of baby competition. They were both trying to build their family. But more importantly, I wanted to talk about Jacob's dream, because this is the point in time where Jacob's faith becomes his own, and he takes God to be his God and makes a promise and a commitment to believe in God and to give a part of everything God gives him back to God, which we call tithing. And so this is important because there comes a time in everyone's life, and there will come a time in your life as you are growing up, Diamond, Pearl, Jedi, Forrest, and the other members. You will all have to come to your own faith in God, where you make your decision to follow God in your life. And it's a decision we make every day, and it's a different thing than just saying I believe in God, because Paul tells us that faith without action is not really faith. So not that you don't have faith now, but right now you go to church and you believe in God and you pray, and you are led by your mom and your dad. And so right now you are participating as a family, and you may be making your own choice to watch every day. And there comes a time in your life where God becomes more real. Your walk with Jesus becomes your own walk with him, where you are doing it out of your own decision every day to say, "God, what is it you want to do with me in my life? What is it you want me to do today?" And where you will interact with God on your own, very personally, rather than together as a group, as a family, where you will go to God on your own, and where you will look for God's direction in your daily walk, in your daily life every day. And so this is the point in time where Jacob didn't just know about God and believe in God, but where he made his own personal commitment to serving and believing in God. And God spoke to him directly and told him that he would be with him. And Jacob took that very seriously, thankfully. And he woke up from his dream where God had spoken to him. And he immediately made that commitment to God. And so that's a wonderful thing that we see. We see that God is going to bless him, and he believes that promise, and he says, God is going to bless me and he will bring me back here. So while he is on the way to uh, his uncle's house and to potentially find a wife, which he does, he knows that God will eventually bring him back to where he was, because where he is going is not meant to be his permanent home. He is meant to go and be brought back to the land where God has promised to give to him and his descendants, his family. So I just wanted to spend the time to talk about our own personal walk with God, and everybody makes their own decision. And that's part of why I sent an individual calendar, is that I am encouraging that individual personal faith in God by you making your own personal commitment every day to decide, I want to read the Bible every day. I want to read the Bible today, and I want to see what God is teaching me today. I want to use what I'm hearing today to be closer to God and to learn more about how that affects me in my personal daily life. So while that may be a little too much for Diamond at this point, I think that that's not too far off for Pearl. And um, Jedi and Forest, they may be a little closer to that as well, to be able to make those kinds of decisions. But even if they're not, all the way there, they can still make that daily commitment. And you're making that daily commitment, because sometimes we feel stubborn or we just don't feel like doing it. And when I say it, I'm referring to following along every day with our Bible reading, or just doing things in general, doing the right thing, because none of us is perfect, right? I'm not perfect. I don't do the right thing all the time, every single moment of every single day. We're all sinners. And um, so that's why I had the calendar for everybody, is so that you can make those little steps toward your own personal walk with God every day. And that's why I have the calendar available for download for anybody listening. That if you would like to keep track of your daily commitment, that I do have that calendar available for download for free on my site. It's not something that is only available through making a paid subscription or anything, because the whole point is to encourage a daily walk with God and to read the Bible every day. And that's a good step to having a walk with God, is to read that Bible every day, because there is something in every single day that we can learn and apply to our own lives. And I love that about the Bible. And that's why I'm so motivated to do this event and to read it every day. And why I'm so excited that I actually have people listening who are God is sent and are following along. So that's all I have for us today. Thank you so much for being here. I'm looking forward to continuing to do this every day throughout the year. And I'm looking forward to seeing you grow as you do grow older. And I'm talking about you, Jedi and Forest and Diamond and Pearl. I'm looking forward to seeing you grow too. So you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Leave me a comment if you're watching via YouTube. And if you are watching via my podcast, you are also able to make a comment on the Spotify or on the Apple. I believe they have comments on Apple. I'm not entirely sure yet. I don't actually have it up there on that forum just yet. I'm getting there. And to subscribe on my Zencaster. And to contact me via my site if you are unable to leave a specific comment on the video itself. Then you are always welcome to visit my site at inthefamilywaycoaching.com, and I will have links for that in the description. And then you will be able to send me a message through there to connect with me and let me know that you are enjoying the videos and watching and like that. So you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for being here.